Did you know that 51% of CRM and CX implementations fail to achieve their objectives? Do you know why? It is because organizations underestimated the importance of effective change management, which led to resistance and low adoption of customer relationship management and customer experience platforms. My name is Obi Iradium, and in this video, I will show you the exact change management framework that I have successfully used to implement change adoption across organizations like Apple, Microsoft, Yale University, and many more, so that you can drive real adoption and success within your own organization. Here are the key outcomes for you today. And so please take notes. You can pause this video from time to time to take screenshots. Outcome number one is to equip you with the best change management methodology for CRM and CX implementation. Two, to provide and empower you with actionable insights and best practices that increase my success when delivering change management for CRM and also CX implementation. And then three, to prepare you with how-to knowledge for delivering change management. Here is the portfolio of best change management deliverables that you will want to deliver for rolling out CRM and CX within an organization. I will go into details shortly, but at a high level, this end-to-end portfolio involves conducting change assessments, delivering communications, developing and implementing change strategies and plans, engaging with leaders, coaching and training impacted users, and tracking successes. To increase your success, you will want to apply this four-phase change management approach that I am sharing on my screen, which is based on best practices. You want to start by assessing readiness for the CRM and CX rollout, and then move into design and development, where you build the change strategy, plans, and assets for delivering change management for the CRM and CX implementation. The third phase is where we implement the change deliverables and also track adoption. And then finally, we sustain and reinforce by embedding new behaviors into day-to-day operations. Now, something to keep in mind is this. Each phase is time-bound and scalable, meaning you can run this four-phase model for a small pilot, or you could expand it to enterprise-wide implementation with the same structured cadence. Let us quickly go over the change deliverables for phase one, which is the assess change readiness phase. For this phase, before jumping into training and communications, we need to understand how ready the organization actually is. A readiness assessment looks at culture, capacity, leadership, and alignment to spot risk before the slow adoption. You want to think about change readiness as your early diagnostic. It really tells you where to focus your change efforts. So imagine taking a car to the mechanic shop. They normally will do a diagnostic before they actually determine what needs to be fixed. It is the same thing that you are doing by conducting your change readiness. There are 6 readiness deliverables you will be delivering. Here is the first one. The first one, you want to assess current state and culture. So start with the organization's baseline, which is what is the current mindset towards change? How are decisions made and who has influence? Why is this important? Because if the culture of an impacted group is known to resist any kind of change, then you will want to know this information ahead of time and plan accordingly for this. You will also want to assess change fatigue and saturation. Basically, find out if people are already overwhelmed by other initiatives. The second deliverable is to conduct a change impact assessment. On my screen, I am sharing a change impact assessment template that you can leverage for your CRM and CX rollout. As part of your change impact assessment, you want to clearly define what is changing, also known as what processes are changing as part of this CRM and CX rollout, what roles are going to be impacted, what workflows, which departments, which groups, how much are they impacted. So you want to identify the level of impact, low, medium, or high. Why are you doing all of these change impact assessments? Because it actually will help you prioritize where to apply the most support. And here is something else I also recommend, and it's something that I implement when doing organizational change management. You want to have a leadership view that is similar to what I am sharing on my screen. It summarizes the impact across personas or across departments. You don't want to share the really detailed view with leadership. You will lose their interest, but you want to be able to share this one slider that summarizes the impact. Let us now move on to the next assessment that you will want to consider doing. The next one is to identify risk and resistance that may derail the CRM and CX implementation. It is important that you use a template like the one on my screen to capture the biggest blockers early. So, for example, is there a lack of leadership buy-in? Is there low awareness? Are there resource constraints or are there competing projects? Document all of this information so they can be proactively mitigated rather than you running into these issues when you are in the middle of implementation. The next assessment for you to conduct is rather a mapping. So using a similar template to what I have on my screen, you want to identify who are the key stakeholders, who are the influencers who can make or break your rollout. Group them by level of interest and ability to influence. Those that have a high level of interest can be considered your leadership or stakeholder champions. Those that are resisting really are giving you signal that more engagement is needed. The next one is to assess engagement needs. Basically, every department, every group might have their own preferences for receiving training, for receiving communications, for receiving engagement. One size does not fit all when it comes to doing change management for CRM and CX rollout. So go have conversations with selected stakeholders within the different departments and just ask them, how do your team or your department like to receive training? How do they like to receive communications? How do they like to be engaged? And they will tell you. And then all you have to do is just gather this information and integrate it into your change plans and strategy. The next one is to send out readiness surveys and also conduct focus groups, interview sessions to validate your findings. And at the end of this video, I will show you how to download a standardized change readiness assessment survey that you can start using right away. So the 6 key deliverables that are part of phase 1 readiness assessment are really not a one-time exercise. Throughout the engagement, you will want to continue to measure adoption. However, the insights you gather as part of your readiness assessments will become the foundation for your change strategy and engagement plan. Now that we have completed our readiness assessments in phase one, it is time to move into phase two, which is the design and develop aspect of your change management program for a CRM or a CX implementation. In this phase, you will focus on designing your change strategies and developing the key deliverables that will guide your rollout. So things like communication plans, training materials development, and stakeholder engagement tools development. Essentially, this is where all your planning start to take shape. Okay. Now, when you are done with your readiness, the next first step is to develop your targeted change strategies, which basically address the key drivers of the adoption. There are eight, actually. There are eight strategies you want to consider, which are outlined on my screen. These eight strategies cover all angles from communication strategy, training, and leadership engagement strategies, all the way to resistance management and post go live sustainment strategies. Strategies are basically outlining and presenting to leadership how you will and what you will do. It is not the step-by-step plan. We will discuss step-by-step plan next. Strategies is more high level. For example, a strategy can be, as part of our communication, we will apply a hybrid communication approach. That hybrid communication will involve a top-down and a bottom-up. For the top-down, we will give communications to leaders to cascade down to their teams. From the bottom up, we will engage with champions to send up communications. That is a strategy. That is not the same as a step-by-step plan, which we will discuss next. So, to do a quick recap, there are eight strategies that you want to consider when developing your strategic playbook. After defining your strategies, the next step is now to translate them into actionable change management plans. This is where you outline step by step how you will be delivering your change management deliverables. Each of these plans, from communication and training to resistance management and adoption tracking, operationalizes a specific part of your overall strategy. Together, they ensure that the CRM or CX implementation is not just planned, but executed in a structured, measurable way. The goal really is consistency, accountability, and sustained adoption across the organization. Here was a third deliverable that is part of the develop and design and develop phase. You will want to develop and socialize a change roadmap, a holistic change roadmap. This roadmap outlines how to sequence change activities all the way from assessment through go live and normalization. It ensures that communication, training, and engagement happen at the right time, not all at once. The key is flexibility. So you want to adapt this roadmap to your organization's pace and project timeline while keeping momentum steady. Leadership also appreciates this one-pager holistic roadmap because it provides them with everything in one slide. And here are the core, or rather the main communication assets you will want to deliver to drive awareness and engagement during your CRM rollout or your CX, a customer experience platform rollout. You will want to use invites for kickoff sessions, onboarding, and training reminders. You will want to use emails for updates, countdowns, and go live announcements, and newsletters to maintain momentum and also to share success stories. You can also develop and deliver tips and tricks like short videos or quick use guides. This really help users see real value in CRM and CX faster. The key is consistency. Communicate early, often, and in multiple formats so that messages land across all audiences. Something that I do that has helped increase my success a lot, I also use collaborative channels like Slack, Teams, Zoom channels to engage with impacted users and also champions to communicate. So keep that in mind. Another common deliverable you should consider delivering involves a change enablement site and learning resources site. So your enablement site will be the one-stop hub for everything users need when it comes to resources and materials, videos, guides, quick reference materials, even communications, you can include them there. By centralizing training materials and videos in a website like SharePoint for clients, I use SharePoint a lot to develop this centralized change management platform. But your organization but you can use whatever a platform your organization uses for collaboration or for content. But by having a centralized location, you make learning easy, consistent, and accessible. You help users quickly build confidence and sustain adoption after go live. You also want to create onboarding and engagement materials for your champions. Like you want to create the kickoff decks. You want to create toolkits. Toolkit will include communication drafts that you want the champions to send. It will include key information about what it means to be a champion. And it will also include other helpful resources for champions. Basically, you want to develop material to equip your change champions to help them lead, communicate, and drive adoption across the organization. You also want to develop a strategic plan to help them stay aligned. Okay. The next thing you want to consider is you should create leadership engagement and immersion or coaching materials to help leaders actively champion the rollout of the CRM or the CX. So, as part of developing materials to support leaders, develop engagement guides, playbooks, and also day in the life use cases. And we will discuss this a little bit further as we progress with today's session. Now, before we move on to phase three's deliverables, here is a quick recap of phase two. During phase two, we developed the comprehensive change management plans that basically translate strategy into action, covering communication, training, stakeholder engagement, resistance management, adoption tracking, and more. These plans ensure alignment, accountability, and consistency as we prepare the organization for a successful CRM and CX rollout. So before we go on, if you are into change management like I am, please give this video a like or subscribe to our growing community of people who love organizational change management just as much as you do. All right, so now that we have built the foundation through our readiness assessments and developing our change strategies and detailed change plans. It is now time to move into phase three. Phase three is the implement and manage adoption phase. In this phase, you will want to focus on execution, basically driving engagement, monitoring adoption, managing resistance, and reinforcing new behaviors. Let us walk through the key deliverables you will need to successfully manage adoption during this phase. The first one on the list is to deliver your detailed communication plan. And that involves covering all key communication types like awareness communications, get ready communications, readiness updates, countdown communications. So, for example, hey everyone, go live is 4 weeks from now. And then 2 weeks later, hey everyone, go live is 2 weeks from now. And then maybe the weekend beforehand, hey everyone, just to let you know, this weekend we are rolling out the new CRM or the new CX. Effective Monday, we will have go live, right? So those types of communications. It also includes post-launch reinforcement communications. So the communication plan you are implementing can look similar to what I am currently sharing on my screen, which involves a column where you include the communication audience, who should be receiving the communication. In some cases, it can be all, meaning everyone impacted by that particular change. In other cases, it might be specific audiences. And then what type of communication is it? Is it awareness? Is it a countdown? How frequent will you be sending out the communication? What is the priority? What will be the delivery channel, and who needs to deliver the communication? You also want to include what are the objectives of the communication. This view are things you will be sharing with your project sponsors as well as other key stakeholders to give them insight into your communication plan. The next key deliverable is this. You want to launch and actively manage your change champion network. So during the assess phase, you were identifying and selecting the right champions, which is basically people who are influential, positive, and trusted. During the implement phase is where you onboard the champions. I normally do a kickoff call with the champions where we go over roles and responsibilities, how we plan to support them, the anticipated time commitments that they should expect to dedicate to being champions, as well as walking them through the timeline and providing them with communication materials during that kickoff. And then you want to schedule ongoing engagement sessions with the champions. You can also do hands-on training with the champions to educate them on using the new CRM or using the new CX platform. Those hands-on training is really, really important because part of the role of a champion is to educate their colleagues. In order for them to educate their colleagues, they have to be well trained. You also want to provide them with toolkits and other materials and do ongoing check-ins via Teams, Slack, or Zoom. It is also during this implement phase that you deliver hands-on training and enablement sessions to help all impacted users learn how to use the new CRM or the CX platform. It helps them build confidence. You can also do this through virtual or in-person sessions, depending on your audience and location. So you remember what we discussed at the beginning of this call, where we said that you want to do a current state and cultural assessment that will involve gathering people's preferences. How do the different departments like to be trained? How do they like to be communicated with? Well, When you are delivering your training, you want to ensure that you are focusing your delivery on the preferences per department or per persona. If a department has told you they like in-person training, you don't want to send them a training guide and that's it. If a department has told you they prefer video LMS types of training, you don't want to schedule an in-person training with them. Okay, so the goal really is to ensure you use a multi-pronged training approach. The next deliverable is a very important one. When I deliver change management consulting for clients, I always use a white glove leadership and sponsor engagement approach. This means you are not sending leaders, you're not just sending them briefing materials. Instead, you are engaging them through one on one or small group sessions that will help them truly understand the change, that will help them communicate the vision, and will help them model adoption. You will want to use a day in the life storytelling to make it real. And I will explain what I mean when we get to the next slide. But you want to show leaders exactly how the new CRM or the new CX fits into their workflows and daily routine. And here is how you can do your white glove session. Schedule a 30 minutes session per leader or per group, meaning that if you are scheduling a session with a VP or with a senior VP or head of department, on your email, you can let them know that they can invite their direct reports to the session. You also want to let this leader know that you plan to engage with their EA, with their executive assistant, to schedule this session. And then during the session, you want to provide this leader with that hands-on coaching or hands-on engagement and also onboarding. It is very important to coach leaders by showing them how to use the new CRM or the new CX, because if they don't have the right hands-on training and they start to run into issues, then they will voice such issues to their direct report and their organization. And guess what? When an organization is hearing their leader talk bad about this new CRM or this new CX that you are implementing, that organization will resist the CRM or the CX rollout, which is why it is extremely important to have hands-on, white glove engagement with the key leaders. It is important for the success of your CRM or CX implementation. Here's something else. Leaders play a critical role in driving change adoption. During CRM and CX implementation, your middle and senior leaders become the bridge between the change team and employees. They act as communicators, sharing the vision and explaining why the change matters. They are advocates, showing visible support through their deeds and actions. And they act as liaisons, helping to translate a strategy into what it means for day-to-day work activities. They also serve as coaches. They guide their teams through the learning curve, and they act as resistance managers, helping you address concerns early before they spread. When leaders actively step into these roles, adoption accelerates and resistance decreases, which is why it is important to coach these leaders using a day in the life approach. So, the importance of a day in the life approach, which is what I have here on my screen, is it allows the leader to connect the new CRM and the new CX to their own day-to-day functions. And normally what I do when I deliver this day in the life briefing and training, I start with, okay, as a leader, here's what you normally do in the morning around 8 a.m. And here is how the new CRM or the new CX can help you become more productive. And then I move on to 9:30, 11 a.m., all the way down to the end of the day. Here is something that is absolutely important. When I do this, I don't show the leader everything at once. That will backfire. It will be overwhelming to leaders. Instead, you want to take them by the hand and start with around 8 a.m. Here is what you normally do as a leader. And here is how the new CRM or CX will help. And then when they have digested this information, then you build the slide to the next one and you say, okay, around 9:30, here's what you normally do as a leader, and here is how the new tool will help. After they digest that, and they might have questions, but after they digest that, now you build to the next section, 11 a.m. And you say, around 11 a.m., I understand, here are some of the things that you do. And here's how the tool can help. And then 1 p.m., and then you build to 3 p.m., and then you build to 5 p.m. That is how you want to implement this day in the life training for leaders. Don't show them everything at once, please. The next deliverable is managing resistance. So you want to manage resistance proactively and reactively. Proactively means before resistance shows up, you want to talk to champions, talk to SMEs, talk to selected individuals and ask them, where can we expect resistance to show up? And then you proactively prevent resistance from showing up. Reactive is, as part of your assessment, you might identify that some people are already resisting, the change, in which case you want to develop mitigation strategies and include them in a template like the one I am sharing on my screen. What I am sharing is a stakeholder resistance management template. You should keep this confidential. Don't share it with everybody. Only share this with people that need to know. And on this document, you want to include the name or the department. You want to include their resistance level. You also want to include their ability to impact. If someone or a department has a high level of impact and at the same time they have high resistance, it means they can negatively derail your project. So they become a priority for you to mitigate their resistance. So you can engage with other leaders that are champions to go talk to this department or to go talk to this person to help move them from resisting to being receptive to the change. As we move into measuring adoption and success for the CRM and CX rollout, this is where you start turning insight into actions. You will want to track key adoption metrics like user adoption. So basically log into the systems and you can contact the IT department to give you access to the dashboard. You can see who's using the system, how often they're using the system, which departments are using the system more often than not. Those are just examples of things that you can track. You also want to track feedback that people are providing to you or providing to the champions. And then you want to focus on sustaining adoption. You start the process of sustaining adoption over before you get to the reinforce phase. So before we move on to phase 4, which is the reinforce phase, let us do a quick recap of phase 3, which is the implement and manage adoption phase. In this phase, the focus really is all about execution and engagement. So we rolled out our communication plan to drive awareness and readiness. we launched and managed our Change Champion network to keep momentum strong on the ground. We also delivered hands-on training and enablement sessions to build confidence and proficiency and capability across all users. We also provided white glove leadership support, helping leaders to model adoption and reinforce change. At the same time, we proactively and reactively managed resistance. And finally, we measured adoption and success metrics. So now that we have successfully implemented and driven adoption, it is time to move on to phase 4, which is the sustain and reinforce phase for your CRM or CX implementation. It is in this phase that you focus on maintaining momentum and making the change stick long term. You will want to continue to reinforce the new behaviors for using the new CRM and CX. You will want to celebrate quick wins as well as track adoption trends and address any dips in engagement. So you want to think of this phase as moving from launch mode to continuous improvement mode, keeping the organization aligned, supported, and continually realizing value from the implemented CX and CRM. To reinforce the changes, you should focus on sustaining engagement and embedding new behaviors long after go live. You want to start by maintaining your change network as well as feedback loops. Keep these champions and key stakeholders active so you can quickly identify what is being successful and what needs urgent attention. Next, you also want to continue office hours and user support to ensure that you are providing ongoing help and keeping confidence levels high. Don't assume rollout means the job is done. No, people still need reinforcement even after the CRM or the CX has been rolled out. You will also want to continue to track adoption during the sustain phase, and most importantly, capture and integrate lessons learned. And this is very important. Recognition. You want to ensure that you are recognizing people as this helps with adoption. Recognition involves celebrating success, highlighting top users, and engaging with leaders to do things as simple as sending out an email that recognizes people. That really, really goes a long way. And you want to ensure that you embed the change into BAU operations. BAU is business as usual. So, for example, policy documents, procedure documents, workflows, you want to integrate the change into all of these. Next, let us go over our methodology. The methodology you are looking at here on my screen is the detailed 4-phase methodology. You will notice that we have also included anticipated timeline for when it takes to conduct the different phases. Overall, implementing change management for a CRM or a CX implementation can take all the way from 3 months all the way to 12 months. And you can pause this video to take a screenshot of this, or you can reach out to me if you have any questions. Now, something I need to emphasize, which is something I emphasize to clients, is this. This 3 to 12 months timeline for change management does not include the project or the program team's activities. So planning the new CRM or the CX, designing what it will look like for your organization, developing that. None of those activities are captured under 3 to 12 months. So when you communicate this 3 to 12 months timeline to your leadership, you want to ensure that you are talking about organizational change management activities, the people side of change, not the technical side of change. Very important. There is a step-by-step guide that I have published take a look at the link below this video that covers everything that I've discussed with you today and more. And if you need a top change management consultant or consulting company to help you or your organization, do reach out to me. See the link below. You will also find a link to a free readiness assessment survey that you can start using right away for your change project and also change management opportunities. And don't forget to like this video, as that lets me know that you have received value from it. You can also subscribe to the channel so you don't miss great content like this one.